there, here is my Sew for the Soul project. I'm calling this done, even though I could work on it a lot more and I can add a lot more stitches, buttons, beads. There's lots of space for more embellishing, more stitching, but I'm really keen to get on with Anne's new project, which is the Sew for the Soul book. So I'm calling it done. I'm going to put it aside, even though I'm sure I'll come back to finish off sections here and there. So in the last video, I think I was up to the hexes and I hadn't embellished any of them. So I'll go back to the beginning and show you what I've added in some of the other sections. So this is all the same. In this section here, I've added buttons and some beads in pinks and blue. And in this section, I'm not sure if I had the safety pins. I've also added lots of beads and some buttons here. Now the plan is that I would add beads all the way up, obviously stitch down this lace here and keep adding. Another little section I added since the last video are these little bullion knot butterflies and some pistol stitch flowers. Well, maybe not pistol stitch, there was just straight stitch with French knots as the flowers. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this butterfly because all I can see is a face, and I think it's because of the bead that I've got as the body, and I tried to fill in the top wings with French knots, but they just look like eyes to me. So I was thinking of actually cutting it away, but I haven't done that yet. The other thing is you can't really see the antenna all that well, and I'm wondering if maybe the lighter blue would have been a better choice for the thread. But I think this butterfly is pretty cute. In this section here, I added some straight stitches around the Suffolk puffs, and I like that it looks like ripples in a pond, and maybe they're floating on the water, which I think is nice. Here I may come back and add some more beads and buttons and probably work into this lace here. This section I haven't done anything else to, but on the hexes I've started working some pistol stitch. I've added a button with some French knots and some pistol stitch around that. One thing I am really happy with are these bullion knot flowers, which I've added in a vine across the hexes. I've added some pieces of lace. Here I started working colonial knots all the way around this flower. I'm not sure if it's working the way I had imagined it. I'm not really sure what I imagined, to be honest, but I haven't caught the fabric properly down here, and it's puckering a little, so I haven't stretched it properly. But the idea is that I would continue working down here and then maybe add some stitches in the middle of the flower. Up on this hexie I've added some more bullion knot flowers. I've left this one untouched. I've added some French knots on some rickrack and some bullion knots over some lace, some buttons, some more bullion knot flowers. Here I've just added some applique and I've filled in all the little sections with some colonial knots. And up the top here I've added some beads to the points of each of the lace. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I have added some tiny blue crosses in the fabric here. And I like this, it's very pretty. Some more buttons and some Suffolk puffs. And here I've done quite a bit of beading and some more buttons. I like this, looks like candy coloured or pieces of candy, I guess. And again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here, but it's just tacked down at the moment. On this piece of lace I've added some buttons, and I tried doing some different stitches rather than just sewing them on the traditional way. I'm not sure if I'd like it, to be honest. Not really what I had in mind. And I've added some French knots around the outside, but I wound the thread over quite a few times, so they're quite messy and loose. And this is possibly my least favourite section. Maybe if I work into it a bit more, I'll be happier with it. I really like this fabric here though, this pattern, and I've added some tiny little buttons and some stitches to make them look like flowers. And again, the intention would be to add some more stitches and things here. A couple of more hexies and another Suffolk puff. And the last piece that I did was add an embroidered hydrangea, just using some fishbone stitch, I think, is it, or fishtail? Fishbone. And some French knots to form the flowers, and I really like the way this turned out here. So this is the other half of the doily from earlier on in the work, and it is still open here, so if I do plan to add more, I can just sew on another section here and continue working. But right now I'm happy with the way it looks, and I'm happy to call it finished for now so that I can start on the book project. And I'm in the middle of choosing my colours at the moment for that new project, and my instinct is to come back to these colours, but I'm trying to try something different, so we'll see how that goes. So it's my Sew for the Soul project, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.